I think I'm recording now. I'm checking out this building here. I better be careful, there's probably snakes in here. I don't know what this place is, something to do with the coal mines. I'm in the coal mine town of Layland. Huh. I'm not worried about this, but I'm wondering if that's actually an actual abandoned train tunnel I saw back there. Huh. Wow, that goes way back there. I feel like fighting to get into it though, so I'm not going to worry about it. But this is the abandoned coal mine, well, semi-abandoned coal mine town of Layland. Because they do use these machine shop buildings still. There's some machine shop buildings and office buildings for the coal mine town. That house looks empty, but I thought somebody's living in that house. I do know that there's 2 coal camp houses way up there. It's all private property though, so you can't go there. They don't want people trespassing. Here I think I'm okay if I'm just walking around taking some pictures and maybe a video, as long as I stay on the outside. Here they're not really concerned as long as you're just doing pictures and walk around the outside, pictures and a video. A lot of scrap metal. Layland, West Virginia, just outside the New River Gorge. There was a mine explosion here in the early 1900s that killed like 100 men. It's over 100 people killed in that mine explosion. I'm gonna walk out here and see if that is the actual train tunnel I've been looking for. I don't know if anybody's living in that house there or not. Kind of curious. It's a nice house. I know somebody was living in it a while back. Okay. Let me look at this here. Posted. Well, I'm not going to go there because that's private property apparently. But it circles around. I'm just trying to find. Okay, well I think maybe the tunnel's farther down anyways. That might have been, well I don't know if that would be the mine superintendent's house. But I tell you, most likely it was. Hope. But somewhere here's the tracks crossed. They're gone. I don't know what they make here. It used to be all kinds of coal mining equipment and stuff for the mines. Now that building's not that old. It's brick and it looks like they're trying to make it look old. A couple steel beams. I just think it's cool that you got the old mining town of Layland. This is stuff you got to see, and all these beautiful stone buildings. Apparently there's a certain type of stone that they build they call brownstone. This is not what they call brownstone, even though it is brown, because it's cut stone. It's just an ordinary cut stone structure. Now these are not original to the coal camp itself. They're just here. The metal buildings are, all the stone buildings that original from the coal camp was built in the early 1900s. The stone buildings not so much. I mean, well, the stone buildings are built original. The metal buildings are not so much. They probably built in later years. Got a little tongue tangled there. That's now I'm cautious ever since that person had a panic attack and started down trespassing on their property when I was walking along the rail line, and the people literally tried to kill me. That's for a different story though. But this is what I'm curious about. I thought I saw the train tunnel over here. There is a railroad tunnel here where the rail line used to come through and cross the road somewhere in this stretch. Might be something I come and do in the winter time. $130W, yeah, mine supply, West Virginia, bunch of numbers. I gotta be careful here. I don't want to get hit by a car. But what I thought was the tunnel may not have been the tunnel. As I'm confused, I thought it was the entrance to a train tunnel somewhere in the stretch I saw from the window of the car. I know the rail line came out here somewhere. And that one area back there may have been the actual railroad right away where the rail line actually came out. Now think about it. But somewhere in this stretch, it'll be easier to see in the window because I think what I thought was right in this stretch. Oh well. Maybe the area where the tunnel. I bet the area with no trespassing sign was I'm not gonna walk up there. It might be the actual railroad right away. It probably made a soft curve and turn through here. But I'm trying to figure that out. I'm looking for evidence of the actual rail line as well as the mine stuff. I'm gonna go on this side of the valley, and if a car slides off the road and loses the control, this will stop them. Motorcycles. Well, it's a good day to get out and ride, that's for sure. The only bad thing about traveling on a motorcycle is the weather. If you go on a beautiful day like this and you're traveling to a couple different states and you come across severe weather and storms, you basically got elements. There's nothing you can do but deal with it. But on days like today, that would be fun. I literally think back there, it looks like back there the track would come out and went through there to a mine. I think there's another track that came over here. Just trying to find evidence to railroad right away and explore the abandoned mining town at the same time. Well, the start buildings behind me, they're not abandoned. They're still owned and operated by somebody. And this is clearly the railroad right away right here. So these are still owned and operated by somebody. And I think there's like a couple houses that still lived in. But I think about 90% of the town is abandoned. I know I gotta hurry. Now I finally found the railroad right away here. Which means it went this way. Trying to trace this rail line has not been easy. I will say that. But I finally found it, and apparently it curved. I'm not going to go very far up here, but let's see. We went up through there, which means there's a loadout, probably a coal mine loadout there, so this is not the one I want to follow, which means it did not go that way. The track's actually curved here, which means that means the area where no trespassing signs are, where that road makes it curve at the beginning of the video. That's where the actual rail track, when it came through there, must have crossed and split up and went different directions, because Layland had a bunch of mine operations, and that might have been the truck dump at the end. They had a mine that's a truck dump at the end of its life, according to Coal Camps USA, back in the late 80s. Because at some point, I guess, the Warsouts destroyed the track and they never rebuilt it. So this part's just a road. But you could actually tell, that the track went through here. I'll do another video in the wintertime, but that means the railroad right away went here and actually curved. And at some point, they pulled the track up and built a bridge and started trucking the coal out. Because Layland's mine shut down permanently, I think in 1989. They went as far as 89. They shut down for good then. And I guess in the last 10, I think sometime in the late 60s, early 70s, they started getting everything by truck when they reopened. Because CSX pulled the track up the hill, but then although the track would, I'm curious about that house. I know somebody was living in it. but I don't know if they are now or not. I think this is a beautiful area. Without being able to drive from one and live here. But that's clearly a railroad waterway. You can actually see it over there behind that house. And I think that was a railroad line too. So maybe the railroad line came out here, curved, went between the two buildings here, and at some point crossed the road here. And they must have had a rail junction where the one went that way and fed the mine pull up there, but there's more mine pulls up here. I don't know if anybody lives there or not. If they do, they don't mow the grass. But I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not crazy. But at least I figured out the path of the rail line anyways. At least I figured that out. I think somebody would live there. To think. But whatever the fact is, it's private property, I'd probably walk across there and get back on the railroad waterway again. But all that's private. So I definitely can't go over there and do much exploring. Now that's an old telephone pole.